Was UIC closed?
37 later.
They had a delayed start.
They had a delayed start. I think they jumped the gun on Thursday.
They still send me out alerts.
Yeah. I
It
still
was
get
snow. It wasn't a
letters
storm.
from
It was
No.
the road was gonna
Yeah.
No, but
They sent the letter out
It's like, oh, the
3
school's open.
o'clock.
I was like, I don't know.
And, I was here till about 7:30. I didn't see hardly anybody.
Yeah, I was at the Spains till 8. It's like they told us, like, because I was working at it, they told us, like, the students, they told them to go home, but certain employees, like, were living it up to you. So I'm like, fine, I'll stay and get paid. If no one's here. It's like, everyone left. I'm just gonna sit here and get paid while it snows.
Well, I can see Friday. I mean, Friday the roads were cracked.
Yeah.
But Thursday, I think they jumped the gun. Anyway, what we want to do is, there's 2 things I want to go, and then we're going to go talk about the CAD software, et cetera. First thing I want to talk about is I had a miscommunication with our friends over at the Roosevelt Elementary School in Park Ridge. Instead of Thursday, come to find out that the actual science fair is on Friday. Not only that, but it's also later, 6:45. So, you know, if somebody else can make it, I know, Denver, you had some issues.
Yeah, but I can go on Friday.
Yeah, you can go on Friday. Okay, good. Friday, I think is much better. I can make it. Not only that, but I also talked to Des Plaines Public Safety. We can also have a van. So so we don't have to worry about banging up Luke's van.
There's no
It's
worry
on
about
there.
that.
Yeah, it's already pretty busted up.
And I think a number of you indicated that I think Ben, you were interested in going. That's on there. I think Alex Golden also said it as well. So it works out a lot better for us. I will confirm to them that we'll be there. Roosevelt Elementary School, by the way, is in Park Ridge. Okay, just to make sure we're Park Ridge. And what we'll do is we'll meet here. I'll bring the van here. I'm going to go. I have class in the morning. So after the morning, I'm going to go pick up the van, bring it back here. And what we'll do is we'll load the robot and then head over there. And then I'll get, and then we'll, afterwards, we'll come back here and unload the robot at, over here when we're done. And then, so that's kind of what we're going to be looking at. It's from about 6:45 to about 8 or something, 8 something. I'll give everybody the correct, information, but it's a lot better. From my point of view, it's a lot better. And I think those of you that are interested, check your schedule. Let me know when it would be good. But I know we have at least four people for sure. That's on that. So, so Nick, you're going, right? Yeah. Okay. So we got about 5 people, I think, for sure. 5, 6 people.
I'll be able to make it too.
Okay, great. Okay. So sounds good. Sounds good. So I'll put down everybody down, and we will, like I said, we'll load the robot in here. I'll bring the van over here. We'll load the robot in Friday afternoon. Take it down there, bring it back here, and unload it back here. So it makes things a heck of a lot easier. So that's it. So that's there. I'll issue a memo on that. I'll send everybody an email on that. Roster. NASA finally sent us the roster. They're going through some changes. They didn't meet their own deadline, believe it or not, which is kind of interesting. But they did give us the deadline, the official roster. And what happened was that there were no surprises on the roster, believe it or not. I was really holding my breath to make sure that all of you properly registered. So it seems like we got everybody there. So I'm checking everybody. Sanjita, you're officially on the roster. Okay? Let's see. John. Let's see. Who else? Oh, yes. Peter, you're officially on the roster. And Nate, you're officially on the roster as well. Okay? The only ones I have not confirmed is Ayush, Sean, and Alex. I want to make sure that they're in there. So that's the only ones. There are several people, there are 3 people that are on the roster that I'm going to strike. That's on there that did register for NASA. Again, they're not participating, so I'm not going to do that. So I think Sean Fitzsimmons, Adrian, and Matt. That we knew about because he told us already last semester he was not gonna be going. So we have, so that's pretty much there. So those three are gonna get struck from that. The other thing I also wanted to mention, as far as, faculty advisors, I'm on the list, Gloria's on the list, and Peter's on the list. So what we did is we had Peter, that's the way we got him in, as a faculty advisor, so, so he's pretty much on the list as well in that. I will get this list, the only thing I want to know is that they didn't tell me how they want the changes noted. And that they have a bunch of new people at NASA handling this, and it's like a learning exercise for them. So I'll find out from them and then hand it in. Third thing, parts. We've got a number of parts that were in. For example, the keyboards that we got, the mechanical keyboards that we got, those are in by the way. I got 2 mechanical keyboards, the Tamuras, so those are there. If you don't want to use them, that's fine. Anything else as far as parts goes, I also got some mechanical parts that mechanical team ordered. The only parts that I know that are still out are the gears, the worm gears. I have not got any confirmation from KHK regarding when they ship, if they shipped or whatever. So I will follow up with them by Monday, and we'll find, and whatever they usually. We should know by Monday evening or Tuesday what the updated status is of those parts. Again, those are pretty much, those particular parts are something that's essential. We need to get for the robot working. The other thing I was going to mention regarding parts, if there is anything that we need as far as parts goes, electrical or anything else, let us know. I'm going to keep banging the drum. The sooner we get the orders in, the longer period of time we're going to have them, and we don't have to worry about trying to ram anything through the system, because Oakton system is not very good to ram things through. It's not like a private company or a corporation where you can simply apply pressure at certain points. Things get a little mushy around here, so I do want to emphasize that. So the sooner we know what we want, the better off that we're going to be. Just to let you know, we are coming up on March, it's particularly the March spring break. So probably in the next 3 weeks, we're probably going to decide what we're going to do as far as spring break goes. That's on. Now, the school will be open during that particular period of time. There won't be any classes, of course. So we need to make some decisions about if there's anything that we need to do there. Other thing is, with regards to Pumping Station 1, I put in the request for Pumping Station 1 as far as getting memberships and getting that set up. I should have that confirmation to everybody on the mechanical team by Wednesday of next week. So I'll have that in there. Because I know right now, once we start cutting metal, we'll need to have access there to cut metal that's on there. The other thing I want to mention to all of us, working on, as again, we're going to enter the FAB phase pretty soon, is that I know there'll be times it'll be more convenient for us to work here in the classroom areas. However, I don't want it to be like last year where we left this room in a disaster when we went down there. I mean, that was fortunately there were no classes. We had time to clean up. We don't have that luxury this time around. So I want to make sure if you guys are doing, if anybody's doing fabrication work or anything else, make sure you clean up, put everything away before you leave. Otherwise, we are going to be hearing about it. That's on there. And again, the idea of Pumping Station 1 is to take stuff out there in that. So let's see, let's see how we can do it. If we need to work here, I have no issue with it. Just make sure that we clean up. We don't leave a mess. I don't know if any of you remember. Were around last year. Those who around, you kind of know what kind of shape you left this room in when we left for Florida. Yes.
So I know last year, a couple times we used the classroom that's right below us.
Mm-hmm.
If it's getting towards crunch time, we would be able to use that room again.
P156.
In case there's like classes in these 2 rooms.
Yeah, we can, provided I know it ahead of time. I can clear it through. That's no issue. The P-156 has got computers, you know, we can have computers access very similar to P-151. You certainly can do that. That's, you know, that's not an issue. We'll work with that. You know, we'll work with you on that. Just give me some time so I can at least make sure that nobody else is using it.
Alright, cool. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because what happens is if the room is, just because the room is marked blank doesn't mean somebody else will use it, because they'll probably send some things at the last minute. So if I reserve it, that way we make sure that we have it. That's the only thing I want to look at. And anything else regarding what's coming up? As far as what's coming up, again, a lot of things are coming together that we have. There's between the software that's coming in, some of your software coming together on the sensors, a lot of you are coming together on this. So there's a lot of things that are going on, and we're going to have to look at that. Regarding, there's another thing I want to point out as well. Last year, we had the advantage of going down to a manufacturing area, and they're having some tools for us to use, like a bandsaw and that. This year, they moved everything out. Everything has been moved out of there. Things like a bandsaw that's available to us, or some of the tooling that's available to us downstairs. So that's another reason why we got to be a little bit, we got to know what we want. If we need, for example, to cut sheet metal, in the past we used the bandsaw. This is not an option this year because they moved it down. And I tried to get them to set up something down in the basement where we can go. It's kind of hung up in interdepartmental politics, to put it the best way, that's on there. So we'll see what we can do. What I wanted to do was I wanted to set up bandsaw and some other tooling downstairs. We'd have it in a cage. Instructors would have access to it. We can control the access to it. But again, politics, whatever, and that. So I, you know, to do it. So we have to work our way around it. There is a workaround, particularly, I'm pointing this out to the electrical team. You're mounting all of your components on sheet metal. And what you can do with sheet metals is tell us what the size of the sheet metal sheets are. And what we can do is we can take them over to displays and they have a sheet metal shear, they can cut them down. So that's certainly an option for us to do. And it's a cleaner, you get much cleaner cuts than you would on the bandsaw, by the way. So, you know, they do have the sheet metal shears, but yeah, let us know. And I can, if those of you that want to go down there and go to the HVAC shop, that's fine. I can also arrange to take it down there, provided I know what the dimensions are. So again, just a few things as an FYI that we have there. As a matter of fact, downstairs we don't even have drill presses anymore. They took all those out. So the only drill press that we have available was that junky one that we have in the corner, which is not exactly a good one that's on there. So again, anything that we need at fabrication base, let us know. Tooling, that whole thing, let us know. We can work with you. Anybody have any issues they want to bring up before I turn the meeting over to Jeremy? That's on there. Again, we are approaching an important part of this, and again, what I want to do is this part Jeremy's going to talk about is CAD system, because we need to do, at this point, we're approaching the point where we are going to have to align what we want. And it's on there. So Jeremy?
Right before the CAD, I got an email back from Malloy, if you guys remember that. They were asking for February 22nd. So this is a Thursday. I might be able to ask them for Friday, if that works out for some people, but who would be able to attend Malloy?
Wait, what time is it?
This would be like early in the morning, somewhere between like 8 to 2-ish. It's a school day.
On Thursday?
Yeah.
I can only do it if it's after 3.
What about Fridays? Does it make a difference?
Friday helps.
not
Friday
for me,
helps?
but-
I think
I'll ask for Friday.
Yeah. To be honest with you, you know, pipe up if you don't have, I think it would work out for most of us if you do like a Friday afternoon.
I can definitely do Friday.
You know, like probably, what did we say, like after 2 o'clock? Yeah.
So we'll say Friday. We'll aim as
Yeah.
Does that work then?
Yeah.
Just a show of hands of everyone I can get.
See what you can do. Again, like I said, Thursday, I know from going to that is not gonna work, so Friday would be better if we can do it. Yeah, except, you know, the one thing, Jeremy, just expect to go a few back and forth between Malloy and regarding that, so, but tell them we can't make it on Thursday at all.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because that was an issue last time.
Okay.
That was an issue the last time. Okay.
All right, that's it for outreach. The second part right now is I wanted the mechanical team to present their CAD, the projector. So that software team, last year, everyone, you know, of course, works in on their own project, and you know, it can kind of become a little overwhelming. But last year, you know, we made a mistake of not having enough communication between software team and mechanical team. So I want to make sure that we're all looking at the same document, because this is autonomy testing is coming up close. It's 4 weeks away. And so if we all have a slightly different idea in our head of what the robot looks like, that's going to be a major problem. So that's what I wanted to do today, if that's okay. So I'm going to log into 8360. I just
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, but I said, you can log on the changes for mechanical part. I'm going to get with look and discuss the camera section.
okay.
That's here,
But
let me turn on.
you guys doing these right now.
Well, do what you can as far as sign in. We got, let me get the, where's the stupid line?
It's a true guy. Magic store. I can't believe we didn't watch it. That's how watch these. They're like, we watched it, we tried to watch it obviously. We got sidelined. Yes, we got sidelined. We've been stuff laughing.
So
Yeah, that's the book I got that from.
So
Okay,
what folder should I be?
To excavator for now.
Yep.
And then chassis. Go to the bottom, frame, right side.
Right side.
Okay, very good.
One that's not working as magic.
let's see.
Just press the steering on. I hear it.
Yeah, okay.
Power lights flashing.
Cool. Jeremy, it should, yes, it should fall.
Like if you're
There we go.
in the room.
Let me turn down the lights. Let me turn down the lights and
It's a big bird.
I mean, potentially big damage.
okay, there we go. One request I want to make for the whole class, I want everybody's undivided attention. This is a critical part of the project. It affects us. It affects everything that we're going to be doing. So I want to make sure that all of us are participating, all of us are paying attention. To me, if you're not paying attention for this part, I'm just wondering whether you're even on the team. And that's to be very blunt.
Okay, so Simon, if we could summarize to the best of our ability the concept of operations concerning mechanical parts.
On mechanical parts, we added another water pump on the 2 wheels.
Yeah.
Great from my collection. My collection. For we're also adding pillow blocks in all 4 corners for the same reason. We're doing the rear hopper mounts instead of the sheet metal that we used in the past that we bend and then only bolted from parts. We're actually done with tubing and usually bolted in the frame. And the big change is the excavator drive gearbox that you can see on the right side, like the way you can see. So we're building the gearbox enclosure on the tubing down here. We're gonna notch out the hole for the drive shaft and then the input shaft of the motor. That's where the one gear is gonna sit in there with some oil light bushings that we got.
Okay.
And we got the motor perpendicular to the shaft, tucked away to the side, to give as much room for electrical as we can.
Luke, if you can go through software.
So ideally, we're gonna have some form of depth-based camera on the front. Just connect or 2 cameras to keep it. Get this better front. So the hopper, if I remember correctly, is gonna cut off around here or so. Okay. So ideally, we could get a connect on at the front or some other kind of camera, so that we can see obstacles and do better trajectory planning for the road. And then we also want to have a camera mounted on a servo, so that we can localize. I was talking with Simon and he reminded me that I think that mounting it on top of the cross frame for the digging arm would be a nice spot for it, but I haven't had too much time to think about that. I don't know what you guys think.
Where's that? Across.
So on the door right here.
Okay, so moving another one second. Do you see this?
Yeah, what
This
is
this cross right here? Alright, so we can, this is gonna be up about this far. When we dump, so having it here would be a good spot for the camera potentially, and then control the raise and lower it. I don't know.
And then we can have it a little bit higher because the joint and
Yeah,
is kind of
we can only have it about as high as this, so that's like maybe this much height.
Okay.
Because it still has to be lower than the total height of the robot. We have some constraints there. But I think that would be a nice spot for it, but I don't know if it'll fit. If you could screw it down or something. You don't think so?
Just not gonna fall off.
Okay.
Well, if the most we're worried about is it falling off, then it's okay.
I mean, you can already screw it in, but what about wire management? Because it's
Well, I mean,
it's
all these
extending.
wires here are just coming off anyways.
Okay, so
We'll stick them in the,
same line.
Jake
we'll stick them in the same tube.
Because variable wire length means that there's going to be.
Yeah, and keep in mind this is going to hook up to an Adreno, so it's like the Adreno would have to be relatively. I don't know.
No, that can just be in the
I mean, I guess
electrical.
we can just
Because
send
it's
the
going,
wires
it's gonna go in
through-
through.
Can't you guys have wireless?
No,
Not with a servo,
Not
You
quite
can
as
use
reliable.
Bluetooth, but that would be.
no.
because we got to control the servo motor with
the
the.
data stream is so low, you're not
Well,
going
it's not only that, but the fact is you've got latency issues.
Yeah.
One thing I want to point out, with regards to wire harness, what we can do is, provided the cables aren't shielded, don't need to be shielded, for example, analog input cables. What we can do is, we can go get we can get cables with multiple conductors in them, and just route everything through there. Solder and just route the whole thing through there. We have some already that are available to us as spares that I scavenged over the years. If not, we can always buy some from York or for anything else regarding that. So that's something that we can do, that's on this. That's not, so we don't have to have 5 or 6 wireless cables that kind of look messy. We can tie everything into one cable. Now, for the electrical team, that's gonna be an issue because with multi-conductor cables, you're gonna have to make sure that you keep everything right with the color coding. That's the one thing. The one thing I also want to point out, I'm going to answer a question with regards to this. I want to ask the question is, we have everything here. We talk about putting the connect over here. How is that going to interfere with the emergency stop switch?
So is the emergency start going on the front, or is it? It is?
Putting on the side, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be putting on the side.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that we don't have anything else.
So besides the sensor, last year we were moving on like whisker. Any other?
So I don't know too much about cat whiskers. I think if you get close enough, the camera should be able to see the marker. It should get close to an updated.
Try it.
All the way back from there.
Yeah. Look, I would say try it. My concern is depth of field
Yeah.
that you have, number one. Number two is there are time-of-flight laser sensors and infrared sensors that you can use for that gap during that.
So the chance we can just strap it right next to the camera.
Yeah.
What about, are we using the same beacon from last year?
So we're gonna use the same type of beacon, but I think we're gonna test sizes of beacon. Because we want to get a look makes it people see up close and far away.
Fabrication of that beacon?
I think we're just gonna print out paper and stick it.
If it's easy, that's fine. Okay, so is there anything else besides the Connect then? So you're talking about the servo mounted camera?
Yeah.
And this would go on the cross.
The cross member at the end. Ideally, and then load cells. I talked to Ted about load cells. Do you guys pick if you want one, two?
I don't know about the placement we want them.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm just curious, like, if we're putting the silver camera, like, on the cross, I'm like, should we, like, 3D print something that will hold it in there, because the saw is gonna be digging, and the servo cam is made of plastic, it's like, the servo motor. Okay, because that's the only thing I would be afraid of, like, if that camera, like, falls off, or kind of, like, goes, slits to the side a little bit while it's digging, then it comes back, and then it's not gonna find the bin anymore.
Yeah, not plastic, the brakes and all of them.
So, yeah, I wanted to stress this out, and communication becomes so important as this deadline comes up. In 4 weeks, we've got to start autonomy testing. So, I want to make sure that we all have the same idea of what the robot looks like. You know, you don't have to say the different ideas. But I'm glad to see we've got a lot of communication. If there's anything, are there any other components, Luke?
So a potentiometer on the warning gear, is that still possible? Just double checking.
I think we still have some, I think we still have those timing belts that you ordered last week. There's some around. Just make sure whatever parts that we need, we gather them in one spot where you can find them. As you well know, everything, things tend in that back room tend to be hiding in plain sight, as everybody all knows. So make sure that we all know where everything is at. In that. So that's kind of what we're working with.
So is that all of software components?
For now, I'll let you know if there's any changes. We're still trying to test out and different cameras and get stuff to work. If what we're currently working on doesn't pan out and go a different direction,
I would be careful with using a whisker sensor only because I know what the NASA judges are going to do. They're going to take out that length and include the whisker length on there. So
yeah.
That's the only thing I would be careful about. We all know how carefully they measured the height of the robot last year, right down to the last millimeter. So we want to make sure that we don't run into that issue. Okay.
17, 24. So, today is the 10th. We've got 3 weeks. 3 weeks. You guys are finishing up your CAD, but at this point, it'll be for your own reference, mostly, so you guys judge your own level of completeness. What's your schedule looking like? How are you going to break this down so that here we are, at the very least, starting to install the electrical wiring? So if it's done here.
The only main component I was still waiting for my gears, but we can manufacture the enclosure ahead of time. Just maybe I'll give you next spring so we can drill a hole for them and have it ready, drop the gears and then reassemble it here. You know? So the next 2 weeks, while we wait for that, we can definitely take it apart, machine everything down, and assemble them all the way for the gears to come in.
Okay. So next week then?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm fine from this weekend.
Okay.
I think by Monday or Tuesday, I will have an updated status report on the delivery of the lumber. So I'll have that on, see what they did.
Then next week, last, Monday inclusions, okay. Does anyone have any other questions? Any other concerns, comments, passing thoughts, anything? All right.
Okay, with regards to the electrical, with anything electrical, let me know what the size sheet you're looking for. I'm certainly available in the mornings to drop it off at the,
I think we're probably just gonna stick with that same size that we have.
whatever works. Now, just make sure, the only thing I'm not sure of is the thinness of the sheet metal that can support all your components. So it doesn't fall, that's about the only thing. You might have to put a few more stands underneath just to stiffen it up.
I think they added a few more in the mechanical design, right, so they can keep the base, so. You guys add like reinforcements on the bottom of the sheet metal, the base sheet metal. It looks like you guys have like two little reinforcement pillars on the bottom of it to keep the frame intact.
No, we'll have one.
Okay.
Yeah, you can always go for bottom sheet too as well. I know. The other thing is, Lou, for servo, how are you gonna be, PWM, because that's a PWM servo you'll be using. Are you gonna be, do you have any, are you gonna be using an Arduino to control the
I
servo?
think right now the plan is using Arduino.
Okay, Arduino's got PWM, so that's fine. So, that's fine.
When we come, I think we're gonna use the smaller Arduino, not this one.
Okay, like I said, I'll give you guys a Metro.
Oh, awesome.
The Metro is about as close as you're gonna get to an Arduino. It's 5-volt logic. And it's, so try that and see what happens. I'd rather than give you if I give you guys 3.3 volts, then you've gotta worry about the voltage level translation and all that stuff, so.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Okay, cool.
I'll get that to you after the meeting.
Awesome.
So when do you guys think you'll finish up the SCAD with?
When I was fine with you, it's giving us too many problems, that it's with. I think we had enough to go off up to manufacturing parts here within that. It's just joining things and making them work. It's very difficult and keeps crashing on us. But I feel confident enough to go off up to manufacturing parts.
It's good enough for you guys. That's going here.
Do we have a date on like when we want to start electrifying? Or
So, if this stuff is fabricated by March 3rd, that would be then. Yeah, March 3rd, you guys are gonna start wiring, and then as soon as you guys are done, you'll pass off the software team.
Yeah. In fact, if you know what the dimensions of the sheets are, mark them up, give them to me, I'll take them next week. I'll have them sheared next week when I have the shears. Probably they can do it while I'm waiting.
yeah, because we have the packaging quote already, so it's.
Place everything on, make sure it looks okay visually. And then just give the sheets to me. I'm free in the mornings. I can go down to the campus and meet with the HVAC people and have them share it for us.
The problem I see that, is we cut it too short, we slide it around and guys.
Well, here's the thing. What you should do is put some standoffs where you put it on there, just like on a motherboard.
Okay.
Use some standoffs.
But from that design,
Well, remember, there's gonna be a sheet underneath.
so it's gonna be sheet and then,
Yeah, just like it is here.
oh, okay.
Yeah, what you're looking at is the bare frame design. You're gonna have a sheet underneath, so you can be able to do that. It's on there. Because, yeah, we don't wanna have all the dust going on the electrical component. So we have to have a sheet there. So just, if you can't get the standoffs on there, just go it off the sheet. You don't, all we're looking at is just to do that. You can either use standard computer standoffs, or you can make your own, or you can get some other customized.
I mean, those are like things.
Yeah.
So, as well as software and mechanical. Is electrical team and mechanical team on the same page about size of the electrical box, components?
We're not really changing much there, so.
Good. Good here. I think that's it. If we're all on the same page of what this robot is going to look like in the next coming weeks.
And I think what everybody needs to do is just keep the communication going. Any changes or anything comes about, or any changes in status, that would help everybody else learn what they need to do. If there's any problems that any of this teams run into, yell.
Yell.
Use this, yell, because we are going to be, the sooner we know about a problem, the faster we can address it, and the more time that we have on that. So, and the other thing too, I do have a list of spare parts that we had from 2016. I didn't email it over the weekend, but I will email it over this weekend. You might give some time as you're developing this. We don't need it right now, but at least it'll give you something to work on.
Yeah, especially for all the teams, I'd like to kind of hand off. I have to work on realize the budget to work on the systems report and a bunch of other assets. So for software team, it's probably easier before you guys are doing autonomy testing. Mechanical team, when you guys are done with fabrication, I'll work with you on an Excel sheet on the budget of what you use, and same for electrical team. So, and it doesn't have to be super exact. We don't have to go to the nickel. If you can round out ideas, it'll be worth it.
Nearest 10, 20, nearest 10, 15 things.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give you guys heads up what's coming up in the next few weeks, so you can be prepared.
Last thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off who's on the NASA list. There are a couple more people came in.
Sure.
I got the official NASA list from this, and what I want to do is rattle off the names that are there. I know some of you just came in because I was running around putting this. Peter, you're on. You're on the list, okay? Sanjita, you're on. You're official. Farhan, you're on the list. You're official. Alex is not here. Simon, you're on the list. Jason, you're on the list. Jim, you're on the list. Luke, you're on the list. Deborah, she's on the list. Let's see. Edward, you're on the list. Ben, you're on the list. Peter, you're on the list. Jeremy, Nathaniel, both of you are on the list. Elizabeth, she's on the list. Let her know.
Sure.
And then Jacob, you're on the list. And that. So this is the list. There's some people I didn't call out, like Alex and Sean and Ayush. They're not here today. So I will contact them and tell them that they are on the list, that they're on there. So we're going to go with this list and send that back to NASA. So the only thing that we'll need to do is I will talk to all of you about what some of the requirements are when we get down there. But for right now, I just want to make sure we finally got this list together.
Since we're at it, for travel, is everyone aware of how? Okay, so rather, I guess the best way to say it is there anyone not taking the van for travel?
I think I'm gonna take it.
You're gonna fly.
Okay.
Okay. And Peter, you need to get your own. Are you gonna drive or fly?
Drive.
Okay.
You'll see
Unless
me.
that also means
Big antennas. I'll get the big ones, the 11-footers.
Yeah.
Whip it in the air.
You can bring those walkie-talkies again this year, right? So those were very useful. Tactical.
Tactical reviews.
Yes.
And we'll break the lapel. Somebody broke one on the plow. I think it was you.
I'm pretty sure you broke it at your own house. Because immediately after you blamed me, you dropped it. So I don't think you can blame me for this.
All right.
we will talk more about travel and arrangements. I will talk to Gloria. Jeremy made up a list of perspectives based on the list that we have from NASA who's going to be traveling down there. We're going to try to arrange with Gloria regarding hotels and that. Jeremy has indicated a strong preference to Holiday Inn based on his previous experience. And I kind of go along with that. I'm going to give a second choice as Best Western, which is right across the street that we have on there, so Jeremy doesn't like that,
No.
but I have to more or less present two possible choices. So that's what we're gonna be doing. And that Gloria, by the way, is already well aware that we had six-legged critters running around the rooms last time, so I don't think any of you want to have some unaccompanied guests in your room.
Was the Roach Motel?
No, that was,
The Ramada was the Roach Motel, that was the one. I didn't have any in my room, but that doesn't mean they weren't there.
I have heard confirmations from every room besides yours that they
Yeah.
have seen.
I guess that-
Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad.
Yeah.
Geckos were living there, like the predator.
Oh, yeah.
The predator ecosystem could layer on
Dude,
top
we
of
saw a
top.
gecko on our ceiling, and we're like,
Yeah.
we're like very bad sleep, like,
So it was like the entire
Did
body.
you get your Geico insurance?
yeah, we're selling us insurance, I think.
They're gonna sell you insurance. Okay.
Especially for how long days we put in there. I mean, we don't really have much energy to do else besides just go home and sleep, and so or go to the hotels and sleep.
Well,
So I really
it might
want
be
to make sure.
different this year if we, you know, if we're on time. Like last year, we couldn't really, like, you know, have some high level rest and, you know, fully, like, recover, I guess. So this year, if we, you know, we're under control, then I think we should.
Well, here's the thing. Let me put it to you this way. I'll be very honest with all of you. Getting everybody together, and now those of you that were with me last year know, it's like herding cats. Okay? That's basically how it is every year. That's why when Jeremy and I first talked about hotels, I was absolutely insistent that we be in Titusville, that we be within 10 minutes of the Kennedy Space Center. Because no matter what we do, we get in there. The issue that we have is that, and I'm going to say this right now, if we have an early morning run, and again, NASA, we are placing our lives under NASA's control for 5 days. If they give us an early morning run, we have to be there early. And one reason for that happened about 2 years ago. What happened was we were scheduled for a 9:30 run. Everybody says, oh, we'll be there by half an hour before. We get there, and there's lines block long of visitors waiting to get in. And because that's how we have to enter the Kennedy Space Center. We have to enter it through the visitors, the same doorway, the portals that they do. And what we had to do is I had to call up Bethany, my contact there. She arranged with security for us to have an express check-in. We can't always count to have that. I had to pull some favors to do that. So want to make sure that everybody understands. If we have an early morning run, we better be there at least 2 hours before, because you never know when you're going to have 2 or 3 bus tours unload at the Space Center and you're going to have people waiting to get in. So that's one thing that we definitely are going to have to do. Now, I'm not above, we have 2 vans available that we can have one van go out ahead of time and the rest can follow through. That may be one option. We've used that option in the past as well. But that's one thing that we really need to do. We need to make sure that we're out there, especially for a early morning run. And by the way, early morning runs, they can be as early as 8 o'clock in the morning that they'll schedule it. So that means that everybody better be up and at it in the morning, because if we lose that time slot, it's going to be hell trying to get it in, trying to get another one in. So I want that we have to be there, get the cut ready, and get ready to go that we have on there. So again, just want to make sure that we're all available, and we're all going to be aware of what the NASA. They do have a schedule printed up, but I will guarantee you one thing about that schedule: it's going to change. It's going to change because of the teams that are there. It's also going to change because of weather sometimes. You get some hellacious thunderstorms down there, and what they will do is they will actually cancel the runs. Some of you that were there last year remember some of the thunder. We were actually, I think we left early one day, didn't we, Jeremy?
Yeah, so that's why it's very strategic and in our best interest for practice runs to get the first available.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the later you wait, sometimes not all teams take up their practice runs, and so there are some teams on standby who get multiple practice runs before their start, and it's first come, first serve, I believe, for the practice runs, so.
One other thing too, and this I'll point out to Luke and the software team, one of the things that teams literally compete very heavily on in the sand pit is plugs for the routers. And we've gotten away from that. We have batteries that we can use. So we got to make sure we take those adapter plugs so we can not have to worry about using battery plugs or fighting with everybody else who's going to have the routers on there. So we want to make sure that. But again, these are some of the things that we need to keep in mind as we're moving through.
I also wanted to ask, do we need to contact Bethany or someone for, like Case Western got like an additional cable near theirs? You remember in the hallway? Did they just set up or did they like
It was
reserve
chance.
That? It was chance?
Pure 100, and nobody complained.
All right, so
what happened was they got it, nobody complained, so therefore NASA didn't get involved.
So even more reason that we need to show up early and on time the first day, because we're gonna go snag some of that chance right up.
Chance.
We're gonna snag that chance right up.
Now remember one thing too. Just because teams are on the roster does not mean that they show up. For example, last year, the Milwaukee School of Engineering did not show up. It was a last-minute deal. And the reason that happened is there was a profound disagreement among the team members, and they wound up not going. So we may have an opportunity right there, especially if the table's adjacent to us. They'll reserve the tables, but whether everybody shows up, that's a different deal. And by the way, be aware, if you do decide to go habit another table, some teams won't show up until Tuesday. Even though the rules say you have to show up by 3 o'clock, you'll see some teams wander in on Tuesday, which is also technically a practice day. All right, that's all I have.
If there's any other discussion, especially between inter-teams, please be sure to bring up problems, Discord, email, text message, whatever. Angela and I are here. We'll hear you when we're listening.
One thing we are going to do is that and I'm going to place responsibility on each and every member of this team that they know the rules and regulations for NASA. In that regards, what we're going to be doing is I want everybody to be familiar. We're going to have a short test on the NASA rules and regulations that's on there. That will be after spring break. So make sure you get yours. Now, what I'm going to do on the test is that you're going to have about 20 minutes to complete the test. However, you're going to be given access to whatever you want to. If you want to come in with a printed version of the rules, you can do that. You want to look the online version with your smart book, you can. It's not closed book, it'll be open notes. However, to successfully do with the test, you got to know your way around. So it's going to be the basics. I don't want everybody here to go, I don't know the rules. Each and every one of you have got to know the rules. No exceptions whatsoever. None. The other thing about outreach events, I know we've had exceptions, they're abolished. Okay? I think everybody should take part in them, whatever ones that we have. I think all of you that's on there, so I'm not going to make any exceptions on that either. I think all of us should at least take part, at least one of them that's on there. I'm not going to mandate it for everybody, but I think everybody should be on there. Any other questions? Okay. There's nothing else to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. If there, anybody second the motion?
Seconded.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.
One of these days, that system is crashed.
All right.
Yeah, I was playing with that during the school came out and then I had to hear from the school back in while I worked up in prostate.
By the way, guys,
Even spreads it.
no.
It's like I have a jewel on the end.
Yes.
Oh, it looks like a real jewel.
No, it's just
I have to pay for this pen.
much, but it's always too much.
Can we write up a list of what we gotta do today too?
Really? Ted, have you not noticed the low-down rejects of the world that run this program?
Okay, I'll give you this.
You have a list? Sure. I gave you guys last time a list, none of you guys finished it. I did. Remember that list?
It's like,
Nah.
Okay.
Took pictures of it
I
so
had
you could laugh
mistakes
at
in
it.
it.
What do they do? You didn't use some discipline?
No, I did my part. There were mistakes in it.
Yeah, they fucked it up.
Yeah, we just got them forward.